Good evening and welcome. This is vk3sl. This is the test program for Friday nights, and we are modulating on 160 meters and also on VHF, sampling historic recordings as we go and just letting nature take its course. Well, as usual, we will probably start off with something from the 20s. We had a nice afternoon missions today, had a few themes to unpack, and we might follow on with a couple of those shortly. But as is always the case, we hear something from the 20s to kick-start the program. That's something very prescient for these times. It's a recording made at the beginning of the Depression. It's a track called There Must Be a Silver Lining. Vincent Lopez and his Casa Lopez Orchestra. vk3sl. Vincent Lopez and his Casa Lopez Orchestra from about 1929, thereabouts, sampling original 78s on these airs, and these are test missions, and also we stream online. So if you'd like to have a look at YouTube, you'll find a dedicated space to these missions and logs of previous programs. It's the way it works, and there's a secondary streaming service as well for those who are particularly interested. If you can't access the first one, or if you would like to know about the second one, you can just contact or just look up the blogspot, vk3sl.blogspot.com. There we go, disclaimers abound, we're done with that. Now we can continue. Now, I was thinking tonight I might play for you actually. Back in the booth again. And we have, this is my workspace as well as a hobby space. So I've got my equipment here. So I was thinking I might play you a bit of Bach. And I was having a look here, and I reckon we'll have a listen to the prelude to the second cello suite. This is the D minor suite. It's quite a tragic work, and it sort of reflects some of the deeper regions of Bach's sensitivities, I suppose, and emotions. Powerful piece of music, and it's sort of a start of a tormented soul, really. The legend is that he wrote this suite during his Weimar period when he sadly lost Barbara Bach, his wife. She passed away when he was on tour, and he came back and found her, and I think one or two of the kids dead and buried. It was pretty sad. So he wrote a lot of music in minor keys. Anyhow, we'll have a listen to this. It's a prelude, and I'll just scratch away, see how we go. I haven't got I can't use a full bow in here, but we'll play it Baroque style. So let's hang up the cans and make myself some space. Might keep the microphone up fairly high this time. Hopefully that is sufficient. Now I can bring the cello into the zone and see if we can make everything work as it should. Okay, is that working? I can probably notch up the levels a little bit there. Okay, prelude to Suite Number 2 by J.S. Bach. pentatonic magic, the music of old Japan. This is from a recent set of uploads from a Japanese collector who's discovered an anthology, and I'm not quite sure what the source or who the artists are. I do know the years. They're all made between 1929 and about 1933, that recording being from 1933. And I'll looking forward to sampling more of these. They're so evocative, they just take you somewhere. Amazing stuff. And a word that we'll be ushering Frank into the fold in the next 15 minutes or so, and we'll get organised with that shortly. Now, another enduring topic of late was different manifestations of the piano or the keyboard or whatever, and we listened to some recordings of the glass harmonica. Now, I found a really evocative one here, and it's called The Last Transit of Venus for glass harmonica. Some ambient music written for this remarkable instrument, which we're discussing on this afternoon's missions. A series of glass bowls sort of profiled against each other in a tapered arrangement, and they rotate, and one's hand touches the edge of the glass and it sets them into ringing motion, and the different pitches actualize, and you get a really amazing sense of harmonic integration. So yeah, let's have a listen to The Last Transit of Venus. I don't know much else about this track, but it sounds really interesting. a work composed for the Transit of Venus in 2012 by William Zeitler, who played the glass harmonica in that performance. Interestingly, the glass harmonica was invented by Benjamin Franklin in 1861, and coincidentally, that was also a Transit of Venus year. It's a quite an evocative piece for glass harmonica and orchestra. Bit of ambience to just to I don't know, keep us warm. It's vk3sl testing on 160 and also on VHF, and we've just dialed up the Zoom-O-Matic here. So Frank, you'll have a link on its merry way to you. Now I had a message from Mr. Taylor, Mr. HN, and he requested to hear a version of the Turkish March, so we've got that one lined up too. So we'll find it here on the list. Turkish March by Mozart. Now, we played a version for this on the toy piano this afternoon. It was a bit of a theme. Looked at a number of recordings of the toy piano, and what we're doing now is following on with a real performance on a real piano by a real pianist, being Yuja Wang. She's going to play Mozart's Turkish March. So we'll just go and find the file, and we shortly will be ready to go. So looking for it as we speak, and here we are. So Paul, especially for you, and it's lovely to hear from you. Yuri Wang, Mozart. That would have to be some of the most blistering virtuosity I've ever witnessed. Amazing. Yuri Wang playing Mozart's Turkish March on steroids, and looks like Frank's in the room. so we can usher him in. Admit and switch on. And hello, Frank, are you there? Can you hear us? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Good evening, Steve.
Hello.
Good evening.
How's it going, Frank? You right?
Yes.
We're all on board, so I think we're
all good and going.
Excellent. Oh, very good. So,
Good.
what do you think of Eula Wang?
Wow.
Yuya Wang. That's
So it sounds like a four-handed performance, doesn't
it
it?
certainly does. Extraordinary.
Yeah, it's all those notes. How does he do it?
How does she do it? Yeah, she's amazing.
She do a big part.
Yeah, no, and she's quite slight, petite, and she's sitting at the piano. Just, I think it's evidently an encore from a larger concert, but
yes.
I don't think you hear that sort of level of virtuosity very often. Amazing.
No, you do not.
So thanks, Paul. That's a great suggestion. Great to hear something.
Not only virtuosity, but a very unusual arrangement.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? I think it might be her own arrangement. Lots of bravura and some syncopation and a bit of jazz influence.
It's all there, yeah.
It went all, yeah. It's
good.
So, well, it's good to be back. And
good evening to Mr. HN.
Yes, indeed.
Good evening to you, indeed.
Yeah.
JR.
That's right. So, well, look, it's good to be back and sampling things as we go and looking for interesting topics. And my God, have we got a topic tonight?
Just before we get into that,
yes.
We have another listener.
Yeah.
At least one more. We have Clint listening.
Oh, really? Great.
Mr. EKH.
Fantastic. Hello, Clint.
He said he's going to listen because he can sleep in tomorrow morning.
Oh, very good. Okay.
I listened on his program, on his very, very excellent scientific program.
Okay.
On the universe.
Oh, yes.
Nothing less.
Yes, indeed. Well, we just heard the music for the Transit of Venus before. So
yes, they're very appropriate. Clint.
The glass harmonica, invented by Benjamin Franklin. I didn't realise he's the first to actually make a glass harmonica and make a practical version.
Reading it was one of his very favourite inventions.
Very good.
He loved to play it. And,
that's good. Yay. So, good to hear you, Clint. And I didn't get to hear much of your program, to be honest, tonight, bits. But, there's a fair bit happening here. So
you're always getting ready, aren't you?
Well, yes, not in other things. So, usually I listen in. And I was going to tune in, actually, tonight on the big screen. Because I think there's HD missions on the RTV, but I'm not sure about that. We might clarify that one with you, Clint. Now, I don't know how well you'll hear me on 160. Hopefully you're getting me okay, but I'm well down in power at the moment. I'm only putting out about 30 watts of carrier, 40 watts of carrier. And
I would hear you very well on 1 watt, I'm sure.
Yes, you certainly would at your distance. But Clint may be not the same, but look at, hopefully he can. So, and of course we do also work on VHF, that's 147.475. So that's the way it works. So yes, greetings to the listeners out there. And
Jamie, if you're listening,
we haven't paid.
Give you a call on Monday.
Yeah, we haven't played in the OTR actually this evening. I do have a TikTok tale lined up. Shall I play a quick TikTok tale? They only go for 4 minutes.
Excellent.
I think we can do that. I'll just lean over and see if the gramophone's wound up. Have to make sure everything's in order.
It's wound up, yes.
The transcription gramophone. Yeah, you're right. Let's see if we can put the clutch into gear, and we might be tick-tocking in a moment with any luck.
Right.
Tick-tock tales. Hear that clock ticking? Well, settle down for 4 minutes of enjoyable listening while I recount the adventure of a girl who became prey to the wolves in city clothing. Wind-driven rain splashed around the ankles of Stella Brown as she picked her way delicately along the glistening pavements. A beast of a night to be out, she reflected. Still, she had no choice. The girl had to work, and it was sheer bad luck she should be working on a shift that meant her going home when the streets are full of people. people with heads bent against the driving rain, never looking where they were going, like this great ox who was coming straight at her.
Ouch! Mind where you're going.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I didn't see you. The rain, you know.
My handbag, it's gone.
Oh, I knocked it from under your arm. Yes, there it is. I'll get it for you.
Thanks. I'm sorry I was so rude.
Were you? Well, let's blame the weather, eh? Oh, perhaps I could get a taxi for you. Run you home.
No, really, thank you. I couldn't take you out of your way.
Wolves, thought Stella. Even in the rain, they couldn't forget their inclinations. Only 2 blocks to the bus stop. Stella pressed on, only to run into the arms of a handsome young man as she rounded the next corner.
Oh, dear, I'm sorry. This must be my unlucky night.
And my lucky one. Do you always charge into people like that?
I certainly do not. It's the rain. I wasn't looking where I was going.
And where are you going, may I ask?
That is no concern of yours. I said I was sorry. Now, please, if you don't mind.
But I do mind. I'm very concerned for you. You see that big car over there? The Rolls. That's my car. You could be very comfortable in it if you let me take you wherever you're going. Also, you wouldn't be able to run into anybody else.
Well, you're very kind, I'm sure, but I don't go riding around in cars with strange men.
Oh, there's nothing about me.
At last the bus stop, and the usual crowd of people. She found herself standing beside a distinguished-looking gentleman. He looked at her curiously. Oh dear, I hope he's not going to turn out a wolf too, she thought as the bus pulled in. 3 people got out, Stella pushed forward.
Full up. Sorry, lady. Another bus along in a minute.
Stella stepped back and landed right on the toe of the distinguished gentleman. Watch where you're treading, girl.
I was pushed. It was clumsy of me. I'm sorry.
So you should be. Bad enough for a man is to stand on his feet all day without the likes of you standing on them all night. Well, at least he wasn't a wolf. More likely a pig. No chance of getting a bus home, better to keep walking. Now, sheltering in a doorway at the bus stop, we find one Sparky Dolan, who had watched with amusement Stella's encounter with the irate gentleman. When Stella walked away from the bus stop, his eyes followed her, and he commenced to soliloquy with himself.
Ah, nice little bit of goods. Well dressed, too. And probably got a good job. And tonight's Friday, pay night. That's a smart handbag you got there, girlie, but you do carry it carelessly. Perhaps I could teach you to carry it more carefully, particularly if it's got your pay envelope in it. Yeah, I think I will.
Here, what do you want? My bag! My handbag! Somebody snatched it! That man running up the street, he's got my bag!
Oh, you'll never catch him, miss. I couldn't run as fast as that. You'd better get the police.
I don't want the police, I want my bag! Oh, can't somebody do something?
Afraid not, dearie. This gent's right, you know. Ought to call the police.
Oh, he'll be miles away by then. Oh, what a night I've had!
If you'd like me to lend you the fare home, or better still, I'll call a taxi and take you out.
No, no, no!
Stella was still hot with indignation when she did eventually reach home. The kindly woman who was waiting for her noticed it.
You look flustered, my dear. Nothing wrong, I hope.
Oh, everything's wrong. Wolves trying to vamp me, and then a little runt of a man snatched my bag.
Nothing valuable in it, I hope.
Fortunately, no, but I like that bag. It's not safe for a girl to be on the streets these nights. The dirty little sneak thief.
I quite agree with you, my dear. Now, what sort of a night did you have? Empty out your pockets. 7 wallets, 3 watches, and a string of pearls. You've done quite well, my dear. I'll teach you to be a pickpocket yet.
So end Wolves in City Clothing. Remember, all is not wolf that whistles. Be back again soon with another story that is different. May I have your attention? Thank you. You've been listening to Tick-Tock Tales, a John Craig radio short.
There we go, another tale of the unexpected, yes, with a twist, a good twisty at the end. Yes.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah, clever, aren't they? Yes, there's someone's, got a bit of a sardonic bent. Yay. Well,
I heard an interview the other night with the marketing manager for Grace Gibson's.
All right, okay.
And really talking about what a huge store they still have available you can buy.
Yes, I've had a look at the
they've got
website.
about 1,200 episodes of TikToks.
Right. Okay.
And enormous number of the Oneiden line was the most popular of what they have. You know the Oneiden line?
Yes, I remember. Well, I remember there was a television series called the Oneiden Line.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, that's the one I
Based
remember.
on
Yeah, but it was never really on my radar. But no doubt, there's a radio.
I'm sorry, I might be. No, it wasn't, nor mine. I'm sorry, I may be confusing you. I think it's the Castlereagh line.
Oh, the Castlereagh line. Okay, sure. No, it was
Now,
never.
Jamie will be totally ashamed of me not being clear on these things.
It's fine. Okay, so so I've seen their archive out online, and it's pretty impressive. They've really, they've released all of their material into the public domain, which is a good good thing. And
Is I'm not sure what their prices are like.
I think they're fairly reasonable. I don't. They're not outrageous. So I think that if you ever wanted a particular, or representation, it wouldn't be a huge outlay. So that might be a go-to place for some source material at some point. But yes, definitely, it's good news that they've made all their material available. So yep. That might be Grace Gibson, what we just listened to, or at least it's the label says AWA, and does it give us any other information? I can just hold it up to the microphone, and it's a custom built AWA recording, and it just says, does it give us any information about the contract? No, it just says made by Amalgamated Wireless Australia.
Oh, good old AWA.
AWA. That's all it says. And on the on the label, it's just got on the matrix. It's just got scratched the same information, the number of the episodes. So the one we just
anyway,
listened to
Grace
was episode
Gibson's selling
66.
them,
Oh, it's good.
They may have acquired them from other sources.
They may well have, indeed. But it's good to know that they are there and available. Very good. All right.
That was Lyndall Barber again.
Okay.
Isn't she good?
Yeah, I think she's amazing. I love her voice.
I love Lyndall Barber. Yes, I know. She's a consummate actress.
Oh, they're wonderful. So did she go into television later on?
I'm not sure. I think she might have.
Yeah.
I think she did.
Okay.
Certainly Dinah Shearing did some television.
Mm-hmm.
She's another Sydney actress.
Okay. I don't really know her.
She used to have a singing program on the ABC as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, she's a sort of a cabaret type singer.
Sure. Yeah, okay. No, I do like Lyndall Barber. She was voice of Portia, wasn't she, for Portia Manning?
That's right. Yes, she was. Yes, she was a lot of things.
Yes.
She was, yes.
That was. I've got a voice of Portia competition on an acetate here somewhere where people have to ring in and pretend to be Portia Manning.
Oh, to be Portia. That must have been a laugh.
Yes, and they had to read the same script, so they're all...
Yeah.
So they all had to deliver in close relief so that they could, the audience could judge the best Portia likeness. And then Portia.
I remember that was
herself,
one of the reasons. Yes. Well, and are there many contestants on it?
I think there's got about 5 or 6, and
okay.
and they're all local Melbourne girls, housewives, and
Good,
and then
yes.
one girl wins the thing, and she gets a box of chocolates from Portia Manning herself, from Linda Barber herself. It's quite funny, and Lou Bennett does the
the overall thing.
Yes, the overall thing is all very official for 3UZ. Yes, promotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that was one of the reasons I bought the Here's Hooey recordings when I could as a kid, because they had Lyndall Barber on them.
Is she on those? Oh.
Yes, she's on.
Okay.
She is.
Okay.
She's on at least one of them.
Is she
I
now?
can't tell you off the cuff which one.
Okay. Oh, how about that? I didn't know she was on those.
I'm
With the
almost sure
Woodley
that's
Pond.
right. I must. I'll have to find them and replay them.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah.
It's got some slightly some saucy sort of overtones that Here's Hooey. It's quite clever.
Yes.
I'll dig them up.
I listened with new ears after I'd turned 15 or 16.
Yes.
I was about 10 when I got it.
When you first got them. Yeah. It's quite fast comedy. It's the delivery reminds me a little bit of some of that British slapstick from that time.
Yeah.
And it's quite, in that sense, it's fairly progressive.
Yes.
It's not sort of the vaudeville stop start with laughs in between, and it's got that whip crack sort of thing
all the time. That's right. No pauses at all.
No.
Keeps
it's got,
barreling on, doesn't it?
It does. Got pace. Yeah. Well, and a warm hello to Mr. Fleming, who's just emailed me he said that he was able to tune up a champagne glass and get the pitch right, and I think that's what you can do with those glasses. You can really certain glasses ring better than others, and he was vouching for the champagne glass ring. So
I used to drive people mad at parties by doing that after we'd all had a few libations.
and everyone's glasses all sort of start to ring in sympathy. Yeah,
That was my way of telling how far down the glass I was.
Oh, very good. I like it. I remember at the con years ago, we did a piece by Percy Granger written for 400 glasses, and everyone had to sing and had I think it was some stupid number, but I think we did it with far less. But and everyone had to sing and had a glass in their hand and had to make them ring as a part of the sort of, the ambience, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it was all a part of the music, and the performance art was to have glasses. We had all Granger's original glasses, which were kept for this purpose. So they're all brought out of the vaults, and the choir all had their glass of Granger.
Well, if somebody wanted to, they could have no doubt dressed up as Granger with all the clothing that's in there.
Yes, with his toweling clothing, yeah.
His socks, and
yes,
I've heard.
Yes, that's right. He wore funny socks and he was really into toweling. He liked the feeling of toweling.
Did he?
Probably mopped up the blood on his back. And
after the whips had done their work.
Exactly, on his derriere. Yes, poor old Granger. Oh, he was a tormented soul, he was. Yes.
Made the most of life, didn't he?
He certainly did. Well, he certainly, he really, unfortunately, that pain and pleasure thing became completely inextricable. So I don't know how that. Well, we all know how it played out. In fact, when I was at the con, they took the whips out of the museum because the people involved were still around at that point.
Oh, yes, it has overtones of that. It must have been a terrible shock for his latterly married wife.
Oh, definitely. I think she was quite tormented by his excesses, and his he was more than obsessed. It was like completely consumed him, that sort of bizarre behaviour. And I remember speaking to someone who was associated with the Granger Museum, and they had crates and crates of his home pictures, photographs of himself in compromising positions. Now,
I see.
And they didn't know what to do with them because they were all very explicit. And it's not the sort of thing you'd ever put in an exhibition. But all the glass, all the negatives, and I mean it was full on, absolutely full on. It's like hardcore. Yeah. And that was Percy Granger's success, and it was something he had to capture. So apparently, it's all there in the vaults. Yeah, but it's all
many sides of old Percy.
Yes, and his funny Aryan language. He never used Italian words on his scores. He
hated Latin things. He hated anything to do with Latin, and he always used words from the British Anglo-Saxon.
That's right. He did indeed.
Derivation.
Absolutely. So he writes strange things on his music, which sort of didn't sound very poetic, but
in terms of expression marks and things like that.
Expression marks, yes. Yeah. In a dainty
faster
manner.
And slow.
Yes.
In a dainty manner,
He'd write all sorts of strange, English expressive ideas. So
all ones are Italian, aren't they?
Yeah, well, traditionally they are, except for him.
He carved out his own niche, didn't he?
He certainly did. Poor old Granger. Well, I'll have to dig up that record of him playing the Grieg Concerto with the MSO, because they played it with him as a piano roll, and it was very Granger, the whole concert. I remember it was 1981, I think they did the concert.
Okay.
And
I don't know whether it was you who played it, but I heard an interview. Yeah. I'm sure this is right, with Grieg. Is that a possibility?
I don't think so. Grieg died a long time ago, but there's an interview. No, I played this because I did a series of programs on Granger earlier on, and I found an extraordinary recording of Granger talking about Grieg and his association with Grieg.
Yes, this is it. This is what it was.
Yes, it was in the 50s, not long before he died, and he talks all about Grieg, and he Yeah, he's very close association with Grieg. So that's that's an interesting story. And I think he'd memorised a lot of Grieg's music, and I think Grieg was very impressed that someone had taken time to memorise his works, his smaller works.
One of the things he said was that Grieg liked him because he had a very strong, powerful hand.
Yeah,
that he was able to do justice to the first movement of the piano concerto.
I think so. It's a very masculine performance, and it's quite idiosyncratic. But Granger's a fascinating player, really interesting player. He had a very individual voice, and in every way he was his own person. He didn't. Yeah.
They don't make them like that anymore.
They certainly don't. I mean, I think he's intriguing. It's a pity his music's sort of a bit marginalised. I mean, there's a lot of it, and a huge amount of it's just not played at all. You just don't hear it. And we did another program earlier you might remember, on the free music of his as well.
Yeah, yes, that's right. And the instruments that he was making.
That's right. Yes, he created his own oscillator banks and there's these really unusual instruments to.
He had a technical bloke, didn't he, in tow that was trying to put his wishes into reality in terms of sound, imagined sound.
Yeah, we could make that our esoteric offering before we launch into our major corpus. We can have a tiny little listen to. I'll see if it's here. Granger free music, and he sort of just had all these weird oscillations that just sort of cross paths. And here we go. Percy Granger, free music number 1, only goes to 1 minute 33. So, and so we can have a listen to some of his free music. Now, this is really progressive because nobody in the world was doing this sort of thing. And he had the idea that he wanted music not to have any stop points. He wanted music to continuously flow. And this is the sort of the furthermost expression of that idea using oscillators, very primitive oscillators, in the 1930s. So, let's have a listen. It's a later sort of adaptation of the work because I don't think the equipment that it was originally played on it was serviceable in recent times. So someone's made an electronic realisation. So, we'll hear Percy Granger's Free Music, number 1, from 1936. And that was Percy Granger's Free Music, number 1. And in that instance, actually was played on 4 theremins, which is interesting.
Yes.
And 1936. It's, what an imagination. Because there's no precedent. It doesn't come from anywhere. It just comes from probably a deranged mind. But, I mean, later electronic music exponents all fed off each other and sort of adapted the technology, but he was not, I don't think he had such easy access to the technology, and I think the concept was formed well before, and then he tried to just adapt things to match. It's quite striking in its originality. There's another one. They're really short. This one's for a single theremin, and it was written about the same time. This is Free Music number 2. And there we have it, Free Music number 2, and it's performed by Lydia Kavina on the theremin, multi-track, no doubt.
Kavina, did you say?
Yeah, Kavina, I think her name is Lydia Kavina.
Yeah, not Kavina.
No, Kavina, Kavina,
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the Kavina, the guy who made VK3 MBS.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Kabina.
Okay.
Do you know of
I've
him?
heard of him, but I don't know him at all. Okay.
I think Dave knows him.
Sure.
Or you knows of him.
Yeah. Okay.
I met him once because I bought a piece of equipment from him.
Oh, really? Okay.
He was a ham.
Was he? Interesting.
And he was really the driving force behind 3MBS before it got on the air.
Really?
Technically.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's got a relative now, Catherine Kabina, who does presenting there, still on the station.
Oh, very good. Excellent. I did an announcer's course at 3MBS FM back in the 80s.
Did you? Excellent.
I was really young, but I did all the hours. And I got in early and did a buddy program, and it just ended up that my life got too busy, and I just never followed it up afterwards. But I did the course, and it was good fun. Yeah,
that's great. I've been a member of MBS since about 1980, I think.
Okay, sure.
I mean, I think it does. You can criticise it for a lot of things, but it does serve a very useful.
Oh yeah, it's another outlet. It's very good for supporting local music and local concerts.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
you bet it is. And that's what we need.
They have a team who go around and record things, and they've got a great archive. I mean, and look, in that sense, I think that has to be recognised as a really important outlet for musicians. And so
in the mornings when I'm lying in bed and trying to come to terms with the world, I'm just woken up. I have my bedside radio on, and I have on toggle. I have the ABC FM, and I have MBS FM.
Okay.
And I just toggle
between
from one
them.
to the other. The one that I like most. Most of the time, I don't even know which one I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Until someone speaks.
Yes. I'd be toggling to try and get to work beyond some of the pretentious announcers on some of these networks.
So yes, I tend to strive for constant music.
Yes, I think that would be my preference. Yeah. I have a few issues with the networks on that ground, but that's the way it is. And yes, some people like it all to be elitist.
I know, it's so bad.
Yeah, it's the wrong attitude. But never the mind, if it makes some people happy. But it creates a niche, of course, and it doesn't reach out, and it's just an echo chamber. But
it's one thing Tony Gould was railing against in this lecture that he gave.
Yeah.
That I went to, had the good fortune to go to, about the elitism of the education authority, sources.
Sure.
Con, really.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it has been a huge problem. I think there's a move to widen the berth and break down some of those old world attitudes. But unfortunately, it's still rife in some areas. I think the very existence of a lot of fusion styles and ready mixes of contemporary, elements into classical music has been a really good thing to help break down some of that.
Yeah.
So, but
it makes people think outside, the envelope, and it gives it a not a status. It gives it it gives it a recognised place in the canon, doesn't it?
Oh, look, it definitely does, and it allows music to grow and to develop into not to stultify into niche. Very conservative sort of niche elements. But look, that's I suppose there's always been cultural capital in all of the arts, and that's the and music has been certainly a part of that. Yeah, but I think we live in quite progressive times though now. But look, we've got to address our number one theme for this evening, and I'm just overwhelmed. This is going to probably have to be a subject of quite a few missions because I don't know how we can do Nina Simone justice.
Look, there's too much material there. I'm well aware that I sent you. But, can I just do one more irrelevancy before we get there? Because in researching John Sangster, and again, he needs to be covered because he's a highly original, good musician who's done a lot of very interesting stuff.
Yes.
But I, at the risk of sounding like a gossip, I shall tell you one thing that stood out in his biography.
Sure.
That I had no idea of.
Yeah.
When he was living with his parents, his mother died as a result of having an axe through her head.
Oh God.
I know. And he was charged with her. He was charged with her murder.
He was.
He was.
John Sangster was.
John Sangster.
God.
And
no idea.
The background to it is that it was alleged against him that his mother he wanted to go out somewhere, and his mother didn't want him to go, so she locked up his clothes, and he couldn't go out.
Oh.
And in a rage, he grabbed the axe and put it through her head.
Oh God! Horrible.
His defence was that she was in a rage and came at him with a broom. He put his arm up to defend himself from the broom and accidentally dislodged the axe from where it was above her head.
Right.
And it fell on her head. Anyway, he was acquitted.
He was acquitted?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. It's
so that's...
I mean, someone acts against a broom. I suppose, there's evidently in court they would have heard the whole thing and made the decision they thought was correct. But
his story wasn't about an axe against a broom in that sense. It was the accidental falling of the axe.
Yes, accidental, but yielding or wielding any weapon.
Horrendous result.
It's horrible. It's incredible story.
No.
I just had no idea. Terrible.
It's all there to read if you want to.
Wow. Well, we'll have a look. I'd be interested to know what that album was that Martin Binge.
Yes, I don't know how we're going to find out.
Look, all that lecture's up online, so...
I think it might be mentioned. He's done a series. He did an album on, or two volume album on the not the Hobbits,
that's right.
the other one.
Yes, Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
Lord of the Rings. Thank you. Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
Yes.
There was some discussion about that, I think, on the lecture.
Yes. So I think Martin might have been involved in that.
Yeah. It would be good to play.
And there's another very good series, two album series called All That Jazz that he's done.
Yeah. And
it's very good stuff. It's very inventive. It's jazz, all right, but this small group and terrific stuff. But as I wrote to you, they're nearly all pretty long tracks. So you'd have to give some thought as to how you handle.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have a different sort of program. And
I think so.
But it's certainly worth investigating. It'd be interesting. So did he hold it together for his whole life? I mean, after
yes. He did.
After doing something like that, most people would go nuts. I mean, the post-traumatic side of it would be just something unimaginable.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, we know nothing of the background. I mean, it may have been that his mother was round the bend anyway.
Yeah, maybe
not that would justify, but it may be that he wasn't. She wasn't so much missed. I'm just wildly speculating on possibilities.
Yes.
Just really making the point that because you don't know anything about it, it's hard to. It might not have been as hard for him to recover from that as one would think.
Yes.
Who knows?
Who knows? It is.
He certainly showed no signs of it because he had a very active life, interacting with lots of other people.
Yes.
And being very creative.
Sure, that's it. No, his associations are well known, and his creative output. But it'd be interesting to learn more about that record label and. Find out about that association with Mr. Binge. But good. Well, we'll look into Mr. Sangster as a special feature at some point. And so today we'll make this the first of many, I think, of Nina Simone, a celebration of her art. And of course, we have done programs on Nina before, but I'm very pleased that we've that we can sort of put a few tracks together and follow on and I just think her music is just so wonderful, and I can listen to it endlessly. But interestingly, the work. What's the work with the Bach inspiration?
There are quite a few of them. But,
there are.
There's one particular one, isn't there?
There's one particular one with which there was a video, and all the videos have been withdrawn off YouTube. Which is very interesting. I don't know why. They're just not there at all. They come up, the link comes up and then it says can't be seen in Australia. So there's something going on there. So, but I think we can listen to an audio file. So that's okay for the purpose of what we're doing. I think it's Little Girl Blue. Is it Little Girl Blue? What's the one?
Little Girl. That's one of the ones I think that has the Bach.
Or that was Love Me and Leave Me, maybe. Yeah. Or it's from Little Girl Blue, isn't it? Love Me and Leave Me. I think.
No. Little Girl Blue is a separate.
Oh, it's a separate song. Sorry, I'm getting
song.
There's an album, an early album, and I think that's here. So we can sample that. Maybe that's a good place to start. Little Girl Blue.
Sure.
And
it's a lovely song. It's Little Girl Blue.
I did. I listened to a bit of it before. And so this is from her early output, late 50s, I think, and when she was recording on
early Nina.
Yeah. So just to put the story into some sort of context, she was a student at Juilliard, a classical student, in fact, and she was studying classical piano, and I think she actually graduated from Juilliard, but she went to go to Curtis Institute, and was evidently rejected for racial reasons, and that was the end of her classical career. And then, to make ends meet, she started to sing in clubs. So that's how it all came about. But I did read that when she auditioned for Curtis Institute, 72 people auditioned that year, and only 3 got positions. So it may not have been quite what it seems, but
may not.
But at the same time, it's a sad story that she wasn't able to see her studies through, and she probably had limited means, and it would have been hard
to do it.
But
she was very angry all her life about the racial issue.
Yeah, no, it must have been an issue because she wouldn't have felt so strongly if it hadn't been. So anyhow, we can have a listen now to Little Girl Blue from the. It looks like it's from the album of the same name, but I think it's just the name of the track, as you say. But a recording from, I think, about 1958. So celebrating Nina Simone, vk3sl.
What can you do? Old girl, you're through. Sit there, count your little fingers. Unhappy little girl blue. Sit there, count the raindrops falling on you. Each time you knew all you can ever count on are the raindrops that fall on little girl blue. Won't you just sit there, count the little raindrops falling on you. 'Cause it's time you knew all you can ever count on are the raindrops that fall on little girl blue. No use, old girl, you might as well surrender, 'cause your hopes are getting slender and slender. Why won't somebody send a tender blue boy to cheer up little girl blue?
Yeah, sublime recording, Nina Simone, Little Girl Blue, recorded for Bethlehem Records in 1958, I think, thereabouts. Thanks, Frank. That was a great suggestion. Nice way to kick off our tribute to Nina Simone.
They're always lovely arrangements that she does, aren't they?
Oh, they're so spacious, and she's just got intimacy. It's just, she's there. She's right with you. It's very touching. So, Nina Simone, wow, beautiful performance. And she's just it just had a lovely stillness about it, that performance, I thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, excellent. So thanks for that. We'll look. There's more on the list, so we can work our way through some of these. And,
Okay.
And so the next one is Mood Indigo. Now this is from '58 as well.
Yes,
So,
I hadn't heard her sing this.
Yeah.
That's a piece by Duke Ellington.
Yeah,
of
it's a
course.
famous Duke Ellington track. It's one of the recordings he made in the late 20s, Cotton Club era. But it's one of those works that morphed into lots of things over many decades. And this will be.
It's well and truly in the jazz canon now.
Yeah, sure is.
Of course.
I think this is a fairly upbeat performance of Mood Indigo. I had a quick sample of it before, but let's hear what she does with it.
been blue till you've had that mood indigo. That feeling goes stealing down to my shoes while I just sit here and sigh. Go long blues. I always get that mood indigo since my baby said goodbye. And in the evening when the lights are low, I'm so lonely I could cry. For there's nobody who cares about me. I'm just a poor fool that's bluer than blue can be. When I get that mood indigo, I could lay me down and die. Never been blue. No, 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 no. You ain't never been blue till you've had that mood indigo. That feeling goes stealing down to my shoes while I just sit here and sigh. Go long blue.
There we go. Mood Indigo, Nina Simone from 1958.
It's very up-tempo, wasn't it?
It certainly was. What a different vibe.
That's right.
A bit different to Cootie Williams's growl trumpet solo. So,
That's right.
The jungle sounds of Duke Ellington in the 20s. But
yes.
She had her own upbeat version. So very good. Nice to hear some, something a bit upbeat and rhythmic. Yeah, and so early recordings of Nina Simone from the 50s. And of course, she was going right up until the 2000s. She had a long career. I miss seeing her. She was at Ronnie Scott's in London when I was studying there. And,
really?
Yeah, and I saw the sign up and I should have gone.
Yeah.
Off Oxford Street. I remember seeing it there and I said, Nina Simone tonight. And I could have.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
She lived in England for a long time, I think.
She did, and then she moved to France, I think, at the end.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So
she had some very severe demons in her own life.
I think she did, by all accounts. It was not an easy life.
I've heard an interview with her daughter.
Yeah.
Who is a bit ambivalent about her mother, in the sense that their relationship was not always a congenial one. It was a very complex relationship, and I think the daughter was still critical of Nina for some of the things that went wrong.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, well, families and dysfunction, and I think she had a number of personal issues in her young life that sort of came back to haunt her a bit. But
I think that's right.
And these things tend to play out through the generations in unforeseen ways. But look, she made, despite the problems, her art didn't suffer. I mean, she had full command of her faculties.
Oh.
And this next one's no exception, because I think this is the recording where she plays a Bach fugue in the middle of it. This is Love Me or Leave Me. So
I think you're right. Yeah. Yep.
So it's nice to hear her play a homage to JSB, and it's done.
There was some lovely counterpoint in the last one. Sorry to interrupt you.
There was, yes.
Just out of the blue, so to speak.
Yeah, It was great. It was really effective. I thought she did. It was great. It was just spatially perfect. It wasn't too busy, but it just had a nice sort of Bachian counterpoint.
It's not at all pretentious, is it? I mean,
no.
You get people doing that sort of thing, and it can very easily sound stagey and pretentious.
It certainly can. I totally agree with you. And in this instance, no, there's something. It's just quietly inventive. It's just
that's it.
Sort of noodling, isn't it? She's just noodling away. Yeah, it's true. Well, look, let's have a listen. So this is probably the piece that I connect with most. I think this is just amazing, and the fugue really tops it off. So yeah, listen to a bit of JSB, and in the midst of this performance.
Love me and leave me and let me be lonely. You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. You might find the nighttime the right time for kissing. Nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting with somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. I want your love, don't wanna borrow. Have it today to give back tomorrow. Your love is my love, there's no love for nobody else. You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. You might find the nighttime the right time for kissing. Nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting with somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. Say, I want your love, don't wanna borrow. Have it today to give back tomorrow. Your love is my love is your love, and there's no love for nobody else.
Yeah, I don't think I'd heard that version before. The one we played last time was from a video clip, and that's the one I can't access now.
Right.
And she plays the full fugue. She really goes to town, and but she did a bit there too.
That was just
nice.
Not so long.
It was just like a small bit of counterpoint in the middle, and it sort of seamlessly morphed into that. But yeah, there's a wonderful video of her, and and she really sort of gets into the
carried away with it. Yes,
yeah,
I know.
it's magnificent.
I've heard it myself. She really gets totally immersed in it, doesn't she?
She does, and it's really quite striking. Now, but every copy of that's gone. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that for some reason that's no longer in the public domain. So never the mind, or not in Australia, maybe somewhere else. But but that's such a great performance. I love it. It's delightfully upbeat. Now we'll continue and we'll have a look through the list and see what else there is. Nina Simone Fest. It's fabulous stuff. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Cinema. I don't know this one at all.
It's a bit of a rabble rousing sort of funky,
sure.
Spiritually sort of thing.
Okay, sure. There's two versions of it. I'll play the slightly shorter one simply because
that one goes for about 10 minutes. I wouldn't.
Yeah, and there's another one that goes for 5. So I think we'll play that. And but this is a slightly bit of an unknown quantity. I didn't really sample this, so except for the first few bars. So we'll have a listen. Nina Simone and Simmerman. Okay, I just need to re-cue that one.
Oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Where you gonna run to? All on that day, will I run to the rock? Please hide me and run to the rock. Please hide me and run to the rock. Please hide me, Lord, all on that day. But the rock cried out, I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I ain't gonna hide you down. All on that day, I said, rock, what's the matter with you, rock? Don't you see I need you, rock? Lord, 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 all on that day. So I ran to the river, it was bleeding, run to the sea. It was bleeding, run to the sea. It was bleeding,
Okay, it stopped suddenly at that point, I'm afraid to say. And I think that is the first half of the 10-minute version.
Of that long track.
Yes. Metoric rhythms. It's it's a lot of sort of cross references there in the singing. She's really, I found that quite compelling.
Yes, it's supercharged, isn't it?
It certainly is. Just her use of rhythm. And she's really, she's working at a different sort of pace to the, well, you've got that sort of, that driving beat, and then she's, doing her thing. I quite like that track. And it's a Negro spiritual, isn't it? Yeah.
I've never heard it sung like that.
No, I'm sort of familiar with the Seekers version of that song.
That's right.
They've had a hit out of it.
That's the homogenised version.
It certainly is, yes.
Yeah, that's not to denigrate it. Seekers.
No, not at all. But I really like the way they'd say, just trying to think of the term, it's sort of like cross rhythms anyhow, but yeah, she's across the beat. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, she is. She totally is.
But she does it with such authority and whim. It's magnificent. Yeah, and I've just been sent a file of Nina Simone live at Ronnie Scott's. Oh, this is the concert that I missed.
It's rubbing salt into the wound.
Yes, it is.
But that's lovely.
Yeah, thanks, John. This is Mr. Fleming sent this, so we'll.
Well done. Well done.
We'll put this one on the list, and I'll send it on to you, Frank, so that you can see.
Thank you very much.
And also, John's mentioned that referring to John Sangster, who we were talking about earlier, it was Rainforest label that he had with Martin Binge.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so the Rainforest, I think that was the label which Martin was talking about in that.
But he was over the moon about it, wasn't he?
He certainly was. Yeah, and the Hobbit suite and other things that they did together.
Yes.
So there we go. Anyhow, we're on track with Nina Simone.
Look, you probably don't want to play all the. You won't have any time left for Meredith Monk.
Oh, I don't know if I'm in the mood for Meredith now. I'm really enjoying these. These are good. I'm sort of half there tonight. I'm very tired. It's just this remote teaching. It really takes it out of me. And
yes, I'm sure all teachers. I mean, it would be particularly so with you where you need to have that personal contact for audio reasons and as part of anything else.
It's just super intense, It's you can have much more of a dialogue in a face-to-face lesson. It's more collaborative, and what happens online, the kids sort of freeze up, and they don't want to say much, and so you end up filling up all the gaps. But it's really intense because you're, professionally, having to give the right advice, and and the problem is the quality is so limited. The sound is just one-dimensional, and so you can't comment that pertinently on tone, and you can't see a lot of what they're doing. So a lot of it's about you have to make assumptions, and I find that quite tricky.
And music is so much about conveying nuance, isn't it?
It certainly is. You're so right. And you just don't get that layer of detail. It just simply doesn't come through. So everything sort of sounds scratchy, and and you lose all of the fullness of the tone. You lose the harmonics, and so it's ear splitting, ear bleeding by the end of the day. And I had to teach late today, but anyhow, that's okay. It's no big deal, but it's just the way it is, and it's going to take me a while to settle into this. Now we're looking at, here we go. This one's called "I Put a Spell on You." Now,
I like this a lot. Have you heard this?
I don't know if I have. No.
Only a short track.
Sure. Okay.
It's one of these. It's one of these things. It's an earworm song for me. It gets into my head, and I'm stuck with it.
It's a 4 a.m. song, is it?
Yeah, it is. See what you think, anyway.
Okay. I'll wait. I'll find out. I'll give you a report tomorrow whether I'll wake up at 4 a.m. listening.
I don't think it'll do it for you. Do that to you.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind in the least.
Put a spell on you.
because you're mine. You better stop the things you do. I ain't lying. No, I ain't lying. You know I can't stand it. You're running around. You know better, Daddy. I can't stand it because you put me down. Yeah, yeah. I put a spell on you. Because you're mine. You're mine. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you anyhow. And I don't care if you don't want me, I'm yours right now. Oh, you hear me? I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
Oh, it's fantastic. That was Nina Simone, and I put a spell on you. What spunk!
Yeah, she gives it her all, doesn't she?
She does. She's just got so much. Oh, just that edge. I love it. So yeah, she's on fire there. Great recording.
Yeah.
Great. Yes, I can see that will be have a longer term effect. And I've just sent on that video from Mr. Fleming to you as well.
Thank you, and thank you, John. For
Yeah, so I'll refer the audience to that. It's called Nina at Ronnie Scott's, and it's a live concert. So it's all there on the tube. So yeah, sampling Nina Simone. And it's a great journey. I love listening to her recordings. We'll look for some more history. And I've got it all on the list here. So if we keep moving down, we will find... Here we go. Is this the right... No, I've got to find the mainstream list. Here it is. So, next one is I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. I
don't know this, actually. To be honest, I don't know what it's like. I just saw the name, and I thought, well...
Sure. Well, this sort of speaks to her... Well, we'll find out exactly what it does speak to when she sings it, I suppose.
The sentiment's fairly out there, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is, and she obviously felt very much enslaved by her, her background and her racial disposition. So, we'll see how this plays out. A Vivo presentation.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew. Well, I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if by my heart I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know, yeah. And I'd sing, 'cause I know, yeah. And I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be free. Yeah, yeah, I know how it feels. Yes, I know how it feels. How it feels to be free.
Gospel sounds, Nina Simone. And she captures the spirit of that really well. So, yeah, that's really good. Now, she's great. She's really great at singing around the beat, isn't she? She can just sort of...
Yes, she does it all the time.
rises above it. She's able to just float above the beat and just has that wonderful freedom that great improvised singers have, that melismatic free association. It's wonderful. Yeah, good stuff. Well, we're getting there through the list. I'm gonna have to wind up soon because I'm barely keeping my eyes open tonight.
Yes.
the
I'm much
way-
the same, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. But I'd like to finish up because I'm really enjoying these. They're great. Now we've got another one here. Feeling Good is the name of this one, and I think there's only one or two after this. But
Yes, there are.
yeah. So Feeling Good. I don't know anything about this one at all.
Neither do I, sorry.
So that's okay. Well, this is all good. We're both discovering as we go, but they're thoroughly delightful. Let's continue. vk3sl, incidentally, and vk3jr. We are testing and feeling good.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Woo, woo, woo. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean.
And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Yeah, yeah. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm feeling
Nina Simone, Feeling Good, the official version of that song. And yeah, she's really got it. I reckon she's got perfect pitch. She's singing perfectly in tune. Always.
Yes, she is always. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, a lot of singers always hear they're slightly off here and there, but she's right in the centre of the note so that every note glows. I love that.
Yeah.
When a singer's right in the space. So yeah, she does it beautifully. Amazing.
Well, she leans into her long notes, doesn't she?
Oh, she certainly does. It's got that wonderful swagger. It's just a that soul singing, and it's a dark voice.
Dark voice.
I like its dark qualities. Rich and she's probably a heavy smoker. Maybe I don't
Certainly
know.
a heavy drinker.
Yeah,
yeah.
But,
at times, anyway.
Sure. Yeah, and she ended up dying of cancer, I think, in the end, didn't she? Was it cancer?
Yeah, I think that's
knocked
right.
her off?
Yeah.
Sad ending. Okay, well, that's a brilliant selection here.
Thank you.
No, they're great. There's another one here called Blacklash Blues. Yeah.
I don't know this. It's long.
Okay.
You might want to
Let's have a look.
be a bit careful with it.
No, 2 minutes 31. That's all right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. We'll give this
I'm
one.
confusing it.
Sure. Yeah, we'll give this one a whirl. Blacklash Blues.
Mr. Backlash, just who do you think I am? You raise my taxes, freeze my wages, and send my son to Vietnam. You give me second-class houses and second-class schools. Do you think that all colored folks are just second-class fools, Mr. Backlash? I'm gonna leave you with a backlash blue. When I try to find a job to earn a little cash, all you got to offer is your mean old white backlash. But the world is big, big and bright and round, and it's full of folks like me who are black, yellow, beige, and brown, Mr. Backlash. I'm gonna leave you with a backlash blue. Mr. Backlash, just what do you think I got to lose? I'm gonna leave you with the backlash blues.
social commentary from Nina Simone. Yeah. And classic blues with a message, civil rights message in that instance. Yeah. It's great. Classic Nina. No, really, it's such an identifiable voice. And
yeah, I've never heard a voice like it, really.
Yeah, it's good. Wonderful qualities. Well, we're just sampling her recordings, and we're just going through a great playlist that Frank put together earlier on today. So we're nearly getting there. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I'm still looking. No, I've seen Man. Feeling Good. Yeah, I've heard that. Forbidden Fruit is the next one.
This was the first album, the name of the first Nina Simone album that I bought.
Oh, right.
Back in the early 60s.
Sure.
And this is the title song.
Mm-hmm.
And it just tells the old story.
Yeah, sure.
Of Adam and Eve. But it's a clever lyric. I don't vouch for its veracity.
Yes.
I make no comment of that.
That's fair enough.
But certainly it's worth listening to.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
believe it or not.
Okay. Back Forbidden Fruit.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Eve and Adam had a garden. Everything was great. Till one day a boy says, "Pardon, miss, my name is Snake. See that apple over yonder? If you'll take a bite, you and Adam both are bound to have some fun tonight. Go on and eat. It's mighty sweet. It's quite a treat. Go ahead and taste it. You don't want to waste it. The Lord has said in the beginning, everything is free, except that apple, it leads to sinning, so let that apple be. But Eve got tempted, so she tried it, and as all chicks do, teased her man, though he decided he'd just try some too. Go on and eat. It's mighty sweet. It's quite a treat. Go ahead and bite it. I bet you'd be delighted. I hate to tell you all what followed. The Lord was most upset. Saw them making love and hollered, "What have you to eat?" And when they made a full confession, the Lord says, I see. I guess I'll have to teach you a lesson about not minding me. Go on and eat. It's mighty sweet. It's quite a treat. You go and did it, now you're gonna get it. The Lord made Eve be Adam's madam, have his kids and all. Placed some labor laws on Adam, and he made the snake to fall. Ever since the days of Eden, folks been sinful mind. Nowadays they're even eating apples in their pie. Go on and eat. I bet you be delighted. You always did it. And now you're gonna get it.
What a romp. That was Nina Simone, Forbidden Fruit.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is a lot of fun. Great. I like it. So the use of percussion, the sticks on the edge of the drums.
Weren't they effective?
Yeah, it's really effective, isn't it? Just skips along that track.
It does.
Yeah, good. That was a great track. Great choice. Well, there's been a lot of variety in this selection. I mean, we've heard all manner of. We've heard sort of strictly soul, and we've heard these sort of upbeat tracks and classic jazz standards. It's all there. And she was prolific. She sang a lot. She was. Yeah.
And not only prolific, but she was amazingly flexible. The range of styles that she covered.
Yeah, totally. That's really
more
good.
Beautifully,
Absolutely. Well, Frank, it's got to that witching hour, and I don't know if I'm going to stand up much longer. So now, I got life. It might be a nice way to wind up. And this is a live performance of Nina Simone. So I reckon we can give this one a ride out status.
Make it our closing track.
Yeah, I think so.
Farewell track. Why not? I think that sounds great.
I think it could be good. So this is off a live performance, 1960s TV performance, so the quals won't be quite the same, but we'll do that. And great selection. I thank you for it. It's been good.
Thank you, Steve.
And good to catch up. And
always.
Yeah, and I suppose we'll just meander along with continuous missions each day back to our old schema.
Are you doing early evenings now? We're locking down?
I think so. I think that's all okay, and we'll continue with the what we were doing earlier on since I'm around, and we'll just play a few Thunderbirds, and I quite enjoyed the way it sort of panned out today. It's nice to sort of let things evolve on the fly. It's a great thing.
Lovely when you get people on. I think it is to the sort of I don't know. It gives it an unpredictability, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's good, and just sort of picking up a theme and leading the music. It sort of morphed all over the place, from the glass harmonica to the thumb piano.
and having Dave come on and chat about a few things.
Yeah, terrific.
Always great.
Yeah, it was really good. So
I think we won't be getting Frank back for a while.
No, I think Frank's up in the snow for a bit more. And
I don't think he can. I
don't think he can come back. I think he's
no. Poor Frank, he's trapped in the ski lodge.
In the ski lodge. Well, it's probably all very nice and cozy, and
I'm sure it is. I was being a bit sad on him,
of course. But look, we'll look forward to in more serendipitous ventures into the land of YouTube-ness, and also I will try and pick out occasional things from the collection here as well. There's so much more from Ralph's 16-inch records. I've got to go through them. There's all manner of things here that we should be sampling at least. So
have you got them for much longer?
Well, look, I contacted the gentleman who overseeing it all, and I don't think there's any immediate need, because the person they're being bequeathed to doesn't come back to Victoria for some time, so for another 6 months or so. So I think there's no problem about having them for a bit longer. So we'll discover them as we go, and we might play a few more, and there's lots of other material as well. So, we'll just go with the flow. So thank you, Frank. Have a good day tomorrow. I hope we get some sunshine, a little bit of warmth. I don't know what the plan is. I haven't checked. But
I think Sunday's going to be sunny, so I'm looking forward to that.
Good. Yeah. Nice long walk. It'll be nice.
Just to go.
Yep. Yes. So I should be on the CB tomorrow on the coffee break, and
yes, I was listening.
And we'll see what happens. Right. Catch up with Mr. Gus. All right. Thank you, Frank.
All the very best, Steve.
Yep, and you too, and to your family, and we'll ride out with Nina Simone and Ain't Got No, I Got Life is the name of the track. And this is vk3sl and Frank.
vk3jr on Zoomomatic.
That's right.
Talking cross-media.
Cross-media, indeed. That's the way we do it here.
That's right.
Yes. All right, then. Thanks all. We'll catch you soon. vk3sl saying cheers for now.
Thank you.
Ain't got no home, ain't got no shoes, ain't got no money, ain't got no class, ain't got no skirts, ain't got no sweaters, ain't got no perfume, ain't got no love, ain't got no faith. I ain't got no culture, ain't got no mother, ain't got no father, ain't got no brother, ain't got no children, ain't got no